The South African economic regulation process is not effective. You know, when you run an airline, you compete. You compete among other players. But when you run a monopoly, there's no competition. If you open any kind of economic, it says, when you have a monopoly, you need a regulator. Because if no, there's no more game. Logically, this regulator must be respected, independent from the players, airlines, or airport, and that's supposed to be wise. The regulator is not effective, and I had a long and pleasant meeting the day before yesterday, and yesterday with the Minister of Transport, who I complimented for his vision and for his effort. But when we started to speak of the regulator, I told the Minister, you don't have a regulator. You have a phantom regulator. Because a regulator that accepts those kinds of numbers can simply be called phantom. And I give you numbers. A regulator that is allowing Airport Company of South Africa, AXA, to increase charges by 129% between 2010 to 2015. Because the outrageous situation was the request of AXA, 190% increase in user charges. User charges after you are paying or the airline are paying. There's no situation in the world like this. What does it mean, this? You add 1.2 billion to airline costs, and it's a big burden to the airlines. Dollars to the airline, and it's a big burden for the airlines. So, airline that has to facilitate the tourists, that has to support a very clear and open-minded strategy of the president, it's difficult to implement in practical terms because of this. Johannesburg charges will rank among the most expensive for airports of similar size. And this, why of this increase? It's substantially driven by two things. Poor performance in the previous years, the cost of unneeded infrastructure as the airport in Durban. These charges are still under dispute, as you know, with AXA taking a legal action because they still consider that 190% increase is a fair number. Put yourself on the other side as a passenger. South Africa say in the next 5 years we will increase tickets by 190%. But you say it's a joke. Unfortunately, a monopoly provider can play this game. A similar situation, also if in different terms, you see it with the air traffic and navigation systems, ATNS. They have made some progress in the last years. Working with IATA effectively, we were able to solve one of the big problems of this part of the world, where in a certain part of Africa, planes could not communicate. There was a black hole. This has been now solved with an effective cooperation between ATNS, and we have to appreciate this cooperation. It has been good, effective, and cost-effective. On the other side, also in the case of ATNS, the numbers are double-digit, because ATNS is requesting a 77% increase for the period 2010-2015. The regulator here has been a bit more tough. We say 77 is too much. Let's put it down to 71. So when you see that I call the regulator a phantom, I think so that you could share this kind of idea. And I told the Minister of Transport, it cannot go on like this. I think the Minister of Transport is taking this very seriously. We will have further meetings, he asked for some support on our side, and we are pleased because, you know, we are the Association of the Airlines. We represent 94% of the total traffic. But we are also the consultant to the Chinese government, to the World Bank, to the Indonesian government. We work very closely with government because our effort is to support our airlines, but to support a strong and safe aviation around the world.